Marjorie Taylor Greene, I really never thought in my whole entire life I would be on the same side of any issue other than like drink water as Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I am. She also seemingly she's going to war with the Trump administration, actually wants the Epstein documents in their entirety with protections for victims to be released. And she's not having it with the Trump effort to pressure Republicans to back off of the congressional effort to force the Trump administration to release them. And I will show you her revealing a conversation that she had with Trump in a second. But first, just listen to this. Someone who has been the subject of 300 videos on our channel, maybe.
Kiss my ass.
And all negative until now. Oh, here we go.
Can't put a trans parade in the middle of children's, just in the middle of a street on a Sunday with children involved. You can't go to kids' school story hour and have a trans. We're pointing fingers about doing the exact same thing, or maybe even not as bad, to some of the communities. MTG, before I go, you have 4 or 5 R signatures?
I'm not going to go figure it out, but I'm totally fascinated with how that came up. Yeah, the Epstein files should be released. Why are trans people in libraries? Or why is there drag queen story hour?
On this, do you think this petition will get 218 like you need?
Well, I just want to finish up on one thing.
Yeah.
It's not a hoax because Jeffrey Epstein is a convicted pedophile. That takes away the whole hoax things. It's not a hoax. It's not a lie. And on that note, Eric, every Republican should be able to sign on to this. And that's the real hoax, that they're afraid to sign on to it because somebody who is a real coward from one of the Trump admin officials came out and called this a hostile act against the Trump administration. And I take very big offense to that because I put my life and my fortune on the line fighting to get that man elected. And whoever said that has their job because of people like me that fought all the horrible Republicans that stabbed him in the back after January 6th. And I was one of those that fought on the front lines.
Okay, Marjorie, don't bring up January 6th. Please. We're getting along for like 2 seconds. She can't help it. Ugh, but okay, she's about to get to the good part.
And said, no, he is the leader of our party. He is the president, and we're going to make him president again. Well, that coward attacked me and attacked anybody else and called it a hostile act. The hostile act was Jeffrey Epstein raping 14-year-old girls. That was the hostile act, and it's not a hoax. And Eric, I'll tell you what, I hope people at home light up their phone lines. I hope they call them out on social media. I hope they show up at their district's offices, and I really hope that they push my colleagues to do the right thing. Right now, there's 4 of us. We only need 2 more, just 2 more.
Got it. All right, we'll let you go. Do you want to say?
So she clearly name checks the hoax thing, which is Trump's word that he's saying this Epstein situation is, which is deranged. He said it right after an Epstein survivor said, stop calling this a hoax publicly. And then Trump went at a presser and said, it's a hoax. And even Marjorie saying, no, it's not. And the people calling up Republicans, the Trump officials calling up Republicans saying it's a hostile act to try to force the White House to release these documents, that they're cowards. Now, I would like to hear her be a little bit more aggressive to Trump specifically. That's about as much as she can in her world, which is saying it's not a hoax. That's pretty strong. But I would like to hear her speculate. Let's put it this way. If all of this behavior were Obama, what would her speculation be as to why? Than this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just walked in the building out of this pretty rather intense, very emotional press conference, and I just caught up with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, as you noted there, is playing a key role in all of this. Someone who's been a Trump ally for so many years, one of Trump's closest allies in all of this. And I asked her about the warnings that are coming from the White House. We heard one coming from an anonymous White House official last night saying that signing on to this effort by Thomas Massie to force a vote vote to release these Epstein documents would be a hostile act. She responded to that, and she also pushed back on that criticism, and she also revealed, Dana, that she had a conversation with Trump about this issue today.
This isn't a hostile act towards the administration. The hostile act has been against these women for so many years now. The hostile act is covering up for Jeffrey Epstein and everyone else that's been involved in this. And that's the real hostile act. I look forward to talking with President Trump about these women that I've met. I also encouraged him already this morning that he should have these women in the Oval Office. They deserve to be there.
You spoke to him?
Yes, I did. And I told him I'd be happy to set that up, arranging with their attorney by sharing his phone number.
What was his reaction about?
I haven't got an answer back on that, but I am continuing to encourage him that these are the people.
You know what's really shocking about the timeline of that? If she said it was that morning, then Trump, after being told that, went into the Oval Office and called it a hoax again. And then he ghosted her. I haven't heard back. No, you haven't. And at some point, she needs to escalate a little bit more and say he is the cover-up. It's not his staff. He is saying the most repulsive things about this subject. And let me show you some examples of Epstein survivors saying, this is not a hoax, and then reacting to that word. This one, and I bring this up just, I think, because she voted for Trump. And so she's saying, this is not a political attack like you're calling it. How could you say that she is levying a political attack as someone who voted for him, but she's now shocked by his behavior? Oh, here you go.
Someone who wasn't supportive today, and that is Donald Trump in the Oval Office, calling what was happening in your discussion the Epstein hoax. He repeatedly called it a Democratic hoax, even though you were accompanied by Republican members of the House as you were standing there. How did you feel about that when you heard that word applied to what was happening there?
So I'm going to go off of my survivor sister, Haley Robertson, and I voted for him. I voted for Trump. And for him to say what he is saying is beyond me, because I put my hope in him and he's supposed to protect us. And for him to say that this is a joke and that it's sides, this is not sides. We will say it time and time again. None of us are up there accusing him of anything. There is no one that is accusing him of any wrongdoing. So for the fact that he is saying those things and saying it's a hoax, who are you hiding for then?
Yeah, definitely the question we're trying to answer. I'll show you another example.
The president was weighing in from the White House, just as we were hearing from you and other survivors on the Hill today, and he was calling it a Democratic hoax.
Are we a hoax? Do we look like a hoax? Were all of us a hoax? I don't think so.
Pretty clear for sure. Okay, so we have two camps developing now of Republicans. You have the Marjorie Taylor Greenes. You saw what she's saying. Then you have the Mike Johnsons who are taking the defend Trump at all costs route, which is pretty stunning to have. I mean, Mike Johnson is MAGA, but if you put Mike Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene on a spectrum, you'd think Marjorie would be crazier. But she's the one saying, just release the damn stuff and stop calling it a hoax. And you are cowards for saying it's hostile to push for the release. Whereas Mike Johnson has a different take.
Now they're doing it for political purposes. Not everybody, but a lot of them. And that's what the president's frustrated about. And we all are. That they're creating a hoax just like they did with the Russian dossier because they think it's going to somehow be mud thrown on him. It's not. He has no culpability in this thing at all. The president has clean hands. He wants all the records out. He has told me that himself.
Should he meet with the victims? I
suspect he probably will. Yeah, he has great compassion for them.
Okay. They do this. Trump said he wants everything released. First of all, he never said that. He said, everything credible should be released. You can determine how he would classify credible. And the number two, if Mike, you're serious that you believe no mud is going to be slung at Trump or whatever, this is not going to be something that hurts Trump. Okay, great. So makes it even easier for him to be completely transparent, for the White House to use its power to release all the information. And that's what a lot of these Republicans keep repeating, which is the reason it's a hoax is not because of the women lying about their story, but because of how Democrats are using this to attack Trump. But see, in this case, unlike the other examples you listed and your lies about those, there is a really simple way, an extremely simple way to prove any Democratic hater wrong, that Trump's not covering for himself or for anyone else. And that's full transparency. Not we release the same tranche of documents that's 97% the stuff that's already publicly available, but actually everything. Then boom, it's over. You have to admit, if you're Mike Johnson or MAGA, if any person that you didn't like was behaving like this, calling a subject and a series of personal stories and then the coverage of it a hoax, while attacking individuals who want to release more information about this series of crimes, that is utterly suspicious. And so if you want to minimize the perceived suspicion, just be transparent. And then liars like Mike Johnson go, well, he has been. It's just not true.